Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. I'm Rob Adams. Donald Eng standing alongside of me. We've got a Tuesday for you here on the HAN Network. And Don, I'm willing to bet they have a Tuesday where they are too.
Probably. Odds are, I don't think we have too many listeners down in like Tahiti, but if we do, it might be Wednesday.
It might be. If you're, I don't know, Russia, I suppose.
It's the other side, like the Micronesia.
I don't know. But anyway, good afternoon, everyone. We will try to keep the Star Wars talk to a minimum. But that was kind of interesting, dropped in the middle of Monday Night Football last night.
It was interesting. Kind of a welcome surprise.
Look at
that.
A little Disney synergy there. So. Anyway,
well, John Williams music is always welcome.
Absolutely. In the middle of the most forgettable Monday Night Football game you might be able to think of. But anyway, let's dive into it. We've got some stuff to get to. We've got to consider the standings as we look around. We're going to talk about some hockey, the hockey schedules. I touched on them on last Wednesday's show, but we'll spend a little time on them today and get your thoughts on them as well.
Yeah, we will. We've also got the cross country that we promised yesterday, and also a little bit of soccer standings as we head into the home stretch here toward the FCAC playoffs.
We do, and don't forget we have that cross country FCAC championship tomorrow right here on the HAN Network. It will be at this very time, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, right here. You coming down, or you got to stay up here for Monroe?
Yes, I have currying to do.
All right, so currying he shall do with a little curry on the side. But I'll be with you tomorrow, Dave Stewart as well. So we'll look forward to that.
It should be a very good race. A lot of these teams are very close. Staples is leading the way at 13-0, and then we have Darien and Ward 12-1, Danbury 11-2, and a lot of the runners, at least on the boys' side, are very close. Spencer Brown now ran a 15:54 last time out for Wilton. Marshall Hoffman of Darien, Alex Osberg of Darien, Colton Appleby of Darien, right around that 16-minute mark. So it should be a real sprint to the finish.
Alex Osberg is just such an outstanding runner, so he will be fun to chat with tomorrow, among others who we will see tomorrow. And going to be quite a day down at Waveney Park.
It's out, a lot of things. If you're a fan of cross country, of the running sports, definitely the place to be. And if you can't be there, you want to be watching on the HAN Network.
And we'll have it for you. And again, now tomorrow begins the run of championship games, and we'll still have some free games for you as well. But there will be some games that will be a nominal charge. So you go to, I believe it's championships.han.network. You can check it out there, get all the price, and get everything straightened out. But very reasonable, and it'll be a heck of a broadcast tomorrow. I think we are going to, rumor has it, the HAN Network blimp will be flying in. We are working on a helicopter shot as well. And I am told that perhaps we're going to get Enrico Palazzo to sing God Bless America.
Okay, well, that will be a very big. Hopefully the Queen Mum puts in an appearance.
Okay, in reality, no. It will be really good. It will have a bunch of shots from a bunch of different angles. We won't have the blimp, we won't have the helicopter, nor will Enrico Palazzo be showing up, but otherwise it'll be some good coverage. Dave Stewart and I will have it for you right here tomorrow on the HAN Network. So we are looking forward to it, and hopefully before the balance of the hour is over, we'll have an interview or two for you from our FCAC tour that we can call back up of some of those cross-country runners.
Right. It's interesting now as the season is coming to an end to see just what the mindset was as they began the season. Like who sometimes people surprise even themselves. Most of the time, coaches know coming in how good they're going to be. They don't always tell us, but most coaches have a pretty good idea. So I suspect Staples, Darien, Ward, I kind of suspect they knew how good they were going to be. But certainly as far as the boys go, they are the teams to beat. On the girls' side, Ridgefield 13-0. Staples 12-1, Greenwich and Wilton 11-2 as they head into the final meet. And as far as the individual runners go, Ann Johnston of Darien has just been blowing the field away. At the most recent meet with Wilton, Darien, Greenwich, Norwalk, she ran a 15:48. That's 29 seconds ahead of second place. So Johnston, junior at Darien, looking like the runner to beat there. And then a slew of Wilton runners, Sarah Healy, Mary Lynch, Olivia Bernardini, all coming in right between 16:17 and 16:40. So, that's something to keep an eye on tomorrow.
And again, I wonder about the temperatures tomorrow. High 60s. I think that's good running weather. So long as it doesn't get too humid, I think that's the key to it. Generally, you like that cooler kind of temperature that kind of warms up as the day goes along. You know, the New York City Marathon weather
Right.
that you've seen, the more classic temperatures where maybe it's the low 50s.
It's 48 in the morning.
Yeah, you know, you're stepping off in Staten Island going on to the Verrazano Bridge, and you're warming up as the day goes along. But 60, 67, 68 tomorrow. They're even talking 70s a little further down toward the city. So hopefully that's good weather for everyone tomorrow.
Right. I mean, it's on the warm side for a running competition, but then again, you know, the last couple of months, so they should be well used to it by now. And also, it's about a 15-minute exertion. It's not like a marathon where you really
Right.
want that 50-degree weather. But yeah, we should see some fast times.
Yeah, we should. So that's tomorrow here on the HAN Network, and again, very reasonable. So hopefully you join us online. And I mean, if you're into it, buy the whole package for the whole season. Check everything out because you'll get to see it all.
You'll get to see it all. You'll get to see football championships, soccer championships, the cross-country championships, and a whole lot more coming.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all starting tomorrow, and we're pretty excited for it right here on the HAN Network. I'm going to jump into some of the other standings and kind of see where we are at this point, and start off with field hockey, Don, because you know we're getting closer. That's one of the championships we're going to have for you. And right there at the top, looking really good, is Darien, of course, out of the East Division. They're 11-0 on the year with 22 points. And really, in that division, there is nobody that can touch them. New Canaan is 9-3-1, Wilton is 9-2, Norwalk is 8-3, and from there you go Ward, Ludlow, McMahon, and St. Joseph. While on the other side, Greenwich is 8-3 in the West, and that's it. Staples 7-4, Trumbull 6-4-1, followed by Ridgefield, Stamford, Danbury, and West Hill. We've known all along it is Darien's championship to lose. Now we got to see where it goes from there.
Right. I mean, you know, obviously the West a little bit more balanced with some of the teams kind of knocking each other off a little bit. In the East, there's really no one else. I mean, you know, Darien has just been the dominant team, but as always, you know, a championship game, playoff game, one and done, anything can happen.
So, you know, we'll see that. We'll have the semifinals and the final in FCAC field hockey. We will have that all for you. By the way, we had it on the schedule that the FCAC semifinals would be at Brian McMahon. That actually was an error that's since been adjusted. It will be at New Canaan High School's Dunning Field. So that's been an adjustment we made on the calendar. And the schedule is all up at live.han.network.
Right, and then just checking one of the other sports, we were going to talk soccer in a moment, but I just wanted to mention the girls volleyball. Top 8 qualify right now. That would be Greenwich, Trumbull, Ridgefield, Staples, Darien, Ludlow, McMahon, Trinity, and then Stamford a half game back. Trinity now holding down that 8th spot at 7-4. Stamford is 7-5, and so just a few games to go as they come down the stretch toward the FCAC playoffs in girls volleyball. So that's also something to keep your eye on. Darien leads the way out of the East, 11-0. Ludlow second place, 10-1. In the West, Greenwich also 10-1, and Trumbull one game back, 9-2. So pretty tight bunch atop the West Division in girls volleyball.
Let's turn our attention to boys soccer because that's another championship we'll have for you, semis and championship. And boys soccer, I feel this is the most evenly kind of distributed sport of all the ones that we've been looking at, because the top teams at this point would be Danbury with 30 points, Ward has 31 points, but there's not that far of a stretch to go between the rest of the teams, and the top 8 qualify. So as I said, you got Ward leading the East at 9-2-4, 31 points, Darien's 8-1-5 at 29 points, Ludlow 8-3-3 at 27, Wilton 8-3-2 at 26. On the west side, Danbury at 9-2-3 with 30, Greenwich 7-2-5 with 26, Trumbull is 7-4-3 with 24, and Ridgefield 7-4-2 with 23. But there's Staples at 6-3-4 with 22 points, so there are plenty of teams vying for that 8th playoff spot.
Right. There's 9 schools that have kind of broken away from the others and put about 8 points difference between the two. The problem is the top 8 schools are going to make the FCAC playoffs. So right now, I mean, it looks like we saw Danbury briefly when we were down in Ridgefield, and they looked very good. With a 3-0 win over the Tigers down at Tiger Hollow, and when you go through, the gap, Danbury has 30 points, Ward has 31. Then you get down to 8th place, Wilton has 26. So there's not really that much separating them. It's going to be a very competitive tournament, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great tournament. It'll be a lot of fun to watch that. Now we should take a look at the girls' side as well and just kind of catch up over there and see what's going on in girls' soccer at this point. And again, we were going to have a girls' soccer game for you tonight. In fact, I want to make sure I mention that. It was originally supposed to be 7 o'clock at Dunning Stadium. That has since been moved. It's a 4:30 start, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's the other facility at New Canaan High School. So we weren't able to get there today, but we'll have the girls' championship for you here on HAN Network.
Right, and it's looking right now like the strength of the girls' soccer is in the East. St. Joseph 13-0 with 39 points. Ward 12-1-1. That's good for 37 points. And then really the next group of teams is all out of the West. Greenwich has 29 points. Ridgefield 27. West Hill at 8-6 has 24 points. Before you come back to the East, where Ludlow at 7-5-1 has 22 points. So definitely very competitive, although on the girls' side, a little bit more top-heavy with those two schools, St. Joe's and Ward, really dominating so far this season.
And one last thing we should get to before we take a break, and then we'll switch gears, do a little hockey before we come back to the cross-country to wrap things up. Can't really do too much with girls swimming just based on the standings, Don, but it's there. Girls swimming and diving. Greenwich is always in the mix. There are schools that are always in, super competitive, good swimming programs. So we'll see how their championships go as well.
Yeah, boy, when I was in high school, Greenwich was the team to beat, and I don't think much has changed.
Every year they were the winners. Every year.
What are they, like 38-peated?
Pretty much. It was pretty shocking when they finally did lose a tournament.
Yeah, I think that was the first time they lost a dual meet in it had been decades. It
was
a long time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Final thing to get to, and I just want to make sure we mention this as well, is the HAN Network FCAC Athletes of the Week. And as we sit here right now, well, the votes are coming in, and there's only about 19 votes separating the ladies from the guys. I'm just still keeping an eye on that stuff here, but the ladies are still getting the better of it. Jack Brandt is leading things on the men's side from Wilton Soccer. He has 22% of the vote, but just 21 votes back is John Michael Bavona of Trinity Catholic Football, and he has 20% of the vote. Not too far behind him is Johnny McElroy of Trumbull High Football. Little love for Richie Bellucci. I saw him tweet yesterday from Fairfield Ludlow Boys Soccer. He has 13% of the vote, so need to get the votes up there. On the other side, for the ladies, Paisley Egan leading the way. From Wilton Girls Soccer, she has 23% of the vote. Veronica O'Rourke from St. Joseph's Soccer at 20%. So is Emily Berzola of Greenwich Girls Soccer at 20% of the vote.
Just about 28 votes or so separating the top three on the girls' side. So, definitely, it's almost November. It's time to vote.
And we won't announce it until Saturday before the Marinelli Bowl.
Marinelli Bowl and Athletes of the Week. So
that's right.
Big day shaping up.
Have that for you on Saturday right here on the HAN Network. Don and I will take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll get into some of the hockey talk as we get ready for the winter schedule. And we will also talk some cross country. We continue on the midway point of a Nutmeg Sports on Tuesday on the HAN Network.
Darien Sports Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sports Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network. You are watching the...
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports on a Tuesday here on the HAN Network, and time to talk a little hockey, Don. Now, I started going through the schedules last week. That was on Wednesday when you weren't here. And, I love hockey schedules because, to me, you get out of just being a pure conference schedule. First of all, there aren't enough teams. So, that actually works in your favor. But, you get to see some good matchups. You get to see some interesting matchups. Not only FCAC and SEC games, but even a little more outside of the box.
Sure. In this case, obviously, with hockey, there aren't as many teams as there are with basketball. I also don't think there's enough teams to support 3 full divisions of CIAC play. For example, you look at the Division One roster. There are 16 teams in the Division One, and all 16 of them will make the playoffs. So it's almost like the old NHL season where you played 82 games to eliminate the Hartford Whalers. That's just my opinion. But with the smaller number of schools, it does allow a lot of crossover games in various conferences. And to their credit, these coaches don't shy away from tough games. I'm looking at the Fairfield Prep schedule here. So they play Ridgefield out of the FCAC, Darien. They also play the Mount St. Charles tournament. Then they play, and then they have their other. They play a home and home with Darien. They play home and home with Ridgefield. So definitely some good games there. And then as far as Darien goes, Darien has they play Hamden. They play Fairfield Prep, as we mentioned. They play West Haven. If you're a fan of the sport like we are, you get to see these matchups from different leagues, from different teams, different areas of the state, and in many cases from different states. A lot of these schools play tough out-of-state games, and it's really good to get a barometer on how good the teams are. And also, there's really nothing like the atmosphere at a high school hockey game when you have 2 rival schools from different conferences squaring off for bragging rights. It's a lot of fun.
Especially, if they fill the place, it's cool. And it also depends on some of the barns that you're playing in. I just can't do the Wonderland of Ice.
It keeps you on your toes. It's like it's like David Letterman. It's like David Letterman's studio. Didn't he keep it like 52 degrees or something to keep the fans on their toes?
My son will go to almost any game with us. He will never go back to the Wonderland of Ice, he has told me.
Howard.
He sat curled up like this for 2 hours.
Well, I bet if you took him to the Winter Classic, he'd enjoy it. He
is older now. I could see him going off and going to the warming hut, sitting with the food and the games and all that stuff. So, admittedly, he might come back.
Yeah, I think he will, particularly if there's a really compelling game. And it's as we said before, the high school hockey can be really fun, especially because the student sections get into it, the parents get into it. It's these. You're playing in these drafty old barns. Everyone's kind of huddled up, and it can be really loud in there. So I always find high school hockey to be a very fun atmosphere.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. A lot of fun and always a good time because you get the weirdest times too. Some of these games are starting at 8:50, 9 o'clock sometimes, and that's not the best after a long day of work, but still it's kind of unique.
It is kind of unique. That's why, if my daughter ever tells me she wants to play hockey, I'm going to talk her out of it. I don't do the 5:30 a.m. ice practice times on the ice and things like that, but those high school hockey players, they're a dedicated bunch. And their parents who've been buying equipment and ice time for all these years. It's really fun to get out and watch those games.
Looking forward to it for sure. And is there a particular schedule you want to talk about?
Well, the one I happen to have open is defending champ Darien.
Right.
They open with 2 out-of-conference games. They have Hamden up at the Astorino rink, and then they have Fairfield Prep, 2 perennial powers, Prep at the aforementioned Wonderland of Ice. That's a 6 p.m. start on Wednesday, December 23rd. And then they go into conference. They play New Canaan. They play the Norwalk McMahon Co-op. But then again, Notre Dame West Haven, another SCC school that they play at home. And then West Haven, another SCC school up at the Bennett Rink in West Haven. And then they finish out the bulk of the FCX schedule before playing Fairfield Prep again on February 3rd. And then Don Bosco, the Ironmen out of Jersey, on February 11th.
I love that.
Isn't that great? It's a measuring stick against other states, other leagues. We really, I feel when the hockey season ends, we know who the best team was. In some of the other sports, that's not always the case. In hockey, it definitely is.
Bosco's normally known for being a big football school, but they can play ice hockey. I know they played prep last year, and Bosco's pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen Bosco play Fairfield Prep on a couple of occasions, and there were times when I thought I worried for the safety of some of those Jesuits.
Let's see, who else should we get into?
Well, obviously, if you talk Darien, joined at the hip, you have New Canaan. New Canaan opens, as does Darien, with a couple of games out of the SCC. New Canaan opens on December 21st with Notre Dame of West Haven. That's at the Bennett Rink. And then 2 days later at Hamden at the Darien Ice Rink. And then again, for the most part, an FCX schedule, except for Notre Dame Fairfield on January 9th. That's another home game. And then also Xavier at home on January 18th. Then again, back to the FCX schedule before another out-of-conference game at Xavier. That's up at Wesleyan University. That will be February 15th, a 1:30 start there on a Monday. So that's February 15th. That's not Valentine's Day.
Well, it's not Valentine's Day.
It's not Valentine's Day.
The day after.
The day after. So that's a 1:30 game up at the Freeman Athletic Center against Xavier. So again, an ambitious out-of-conference schedule. When these teams arrive at the tournament, they're ready.
Yeah, and for sure they do. So good stuff there. How about Fairfield Prep? I mean, Prep always has the best schedule to me, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
Prep has a schedule that they're not afraid to get challenged with some unique games.
Right, and part of that is part of the reason why a lot of the defections to the upstate prep schools, that take a lot of the top talent away from some of the other schools, doesn't affect Fairfield Prep as much because they essentially play a prep school schedule. They open with 2 FCAC games, Ridgefield at the Winter Garden, Darien home at the Wonderland. Then they play the Mount St. Charles tournament against the legendary hockey school, Mount St. Charles Academy of Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Back to the SCC schedule, they then play Malden Catholic, Darien, Ridgefield. Then they play the Springfield Catholic tournament. They also play Catholic Memorial, the Massachusetts Power. They play Catholic Memorial on February 17th. So, and I guess part of the beauty of that is as much as I criticized having 16 teams in Division I and all 16 teams make the tournament, it does allow a certain freedom of scheduling because you're not worried about getting to that 10 or 12 wins. What you're worried about is how your team is ready to play come March.
That is exactly right. And I think it's going to be, it's always a great year. Connecticut hockey is always good, and I think it's gotten better. Despite the many defections that have gone on to the prep schools, and that has happened from the Cam Atkinsons and Brian Leaches of the world who did go play prep school hockey. There's still some really good public school hockey to be seen.
There really is, and it's and as we just said, it's fun, it's fast. If you've never seen high school hockey, do yourself a favor and come see a game, because if all you've seen of hockey is ESPN highlights, then the excitement of being at a game, the atmosphere, the cold, and just a lot of the nuances of hockey can be lost on television, and you really get a sense of being at a game when you're there live.
And remember, Darien has a new head coach this year. What kind of losses did they suffer? They're the defending FCAC and Division I champions. What will Greenwich be like? They were seconds away from finding an opportunity to put the puck past Will Massey. I'm still not sure. They might still be skating around in the neutral zone, but that's a commentary for Eric Gendron and I at another time. But will Greenwich suffer as a result of loss, or will they have a lot of players back? really interesting season to be seen.
You know, it always is. You know, and to come back, I know just because I happen to be a fan of the school, I know that last year's Fairfield Prep team and Notre Dame of Fairfield, very young teams. Normally, when the year before Fairfield Prep had graduated 11 seniors, and normally when that happens, the next year their roster is again 10 juniors and seniors. Last year, a lot of sophomores. So we'll see how that develops. Again, which is one of the fascinating storylines surrounding Connecticut hockey this year.
Switching back, and we should probably, I should say, take a break, then come back. We're going to dance a little bit into a little extra time, but just to get you ready for cross country. So we'll take a break, come back, do the cross country. We got a couple of interviews lined up, and then we'll say goodbye on this edition of Nutmeg Sports. Don and I come back right after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. You know, the scary thing is always when you come back chuckling, the viewers going, all right, what are they laughing at?
Well, the challenge is how close can we get to that actual coming back while still talking about other stuff? In this case, pretty darn close.
Pretty darn close indeed. All right, we've got some video lined up for you to get you all set for what's coming up this tomorrow here on the HAN Network. We've got a couple of videos teed up for you from our FCAC tour. We can take a look at cross-country teams from a couple places. So Eric Gendron's got them teed up. I think he can take what I'm ready to go with first. Ladies first, the Ridgefield Tigers right here on Nutmeg Sports. Joined by the girls cross-country team here at Ridgefield High School with Tim Murphy. I'm Rob Adams. Let's say hello to these folks, find out who they are.
I'm head coach John Getz.
I'm Alex, one of the captains.
Gwen, another captain.
Emma, another captain.
Coach, big plans this year? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can make a run at the FCAC championship and do well in the postseasons. Hopefully put up a good challenge to Glastonbury and Double L's and then them again in Tolland at the state open meet.
Alex, you had a streak going. Tell me about that.
Yeah, for years we've been winning FCX. We had a bit of a letdown last year, but we're hoping to have a nice rebound this year.
So with 5 of the top 7 runners back, is FCX title realistic?
Yeah, I think it is, and we have some freshmen that have come on, and a lot of our girls have gotten even better than last season. So.
And Emma, how do you balance the individual aspect with the team aspect of cross country?
So obviously there is the aspect of people wanting to work hard for themselves, but I think our team is very good about cooperating with the teammates, and because we view the sport as a whole, where the team is looking to beat the other teams instead of focusing on individual competition.
Coach, athletes have favorite courses. Do you have a favorite course to coach on?
Yeah, actually I like our course. It scares a lot of the other teams because we've got a couple sizable hills on it. So I think our home course, plays to our advantage.
Do you have a favorite course, Alex?
Actually, where FCX is held at Waveney Park is actually a great course to run on.
I've heard that from a couple of people. They really like running at Waveney.
It's a great setting with the leaves and the foliage and a
It
lot
is
of
great.
orange.
It is great, and we'll be there later this year to see just how it turns out for the FCX. So we wish the girls cross-country team a lot of luck this year. The Tigers joining us on the HAN Network at Ridgefield High School. We're joined by the boys cross-country team here at Danbury High School with Rob.
Hi, I'm Jack Adamski, senior captain.
I'm Tim Moore, I'm senior and also captain.
Hi, I'm Chris Margaris. I'm the third captain.
Coach Murray.
Jack, I'll start with you. I noticed on the sheet that you wrote up for us that you're the scoring member on a state championship team. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, last year as a team, we were pretty senior-filled, top 7 with me, Tim, and one of our sophomore runners kind of running out our varsity top 7 team. And we kind of had a really solid year, and then we went to the state championship as the number 2 team in Connecticut and came out on top. It was a very tough, fast race, intense course, but in the end, we pulled it out.
Timothy, you've been running for a few years as well, and a state open champion, not to mention second in New England. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, well, our team last year was, again, very competitive. We worked really hard during the season with all our seniors, and we were able to really pull out some really good feats. But this year we're looking to hopefully do just as well.
Rocco, over to you.
Coach, that's a tough act to follow, but how do you think this team is capable of getting to that level this year?
I believe so. I mean, I think one thing about our sport, it's a very high conditioned sport, and a lot of our athletes participate in not just fall cross country, but winter track, spring track. They condition on their own in the summer. So, we pride ourselves in not just what we do with our varsity level, but what we do with our developmental group. And these guys have all, developed nicely over, their 3 years. So they're looking forward to their, 4th year here at Danbury High School and trying to represent the, cross-country program.
Christopher, I'll ask you a question. The girls cross-country coach was over here before, and she talked about visualization. I always wonder, where does an athlete go to when they're running, kind of their mental state or what that visualization is. What can you tell us about that?
It's when you're first starting to run, it's very hard to visualize what you're supposed to do because you're young and you're trying to just finish the race. But as you develop as a runner, you kind of see where you are in the race and just have to focus on a positive mental attitude, have some keywords that you can repeat in your head, focus on your arms, knees up, getting over the hill, and just trying to help your team get to the common goal, which is winning championships.
This is a very good cross-country team with a very good coach. I was hearing some of the achievements that he has had as well. Really a top-flight program here. Big things we're going to watch for this year from the Danbury Hatters. This is the boys cross-country team on the HAN Network at Danbury High School. Joined by the cross-country team at New Canaan High School with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams. Seems like a good group. Been talking to them off the air. Let's see how they come across on the air. We'll start with this guy right here. What's your name?
My name is Patrick.
Patrick, and we go inside. Who are you?
I'm Ryan.
Amanda Dobbin.
Lindsay Miller.
All right, Patrick, I'll start with you. You ran under a 6-minute mile. That's incredible, actually. Tell me about that experience and how do you get better?
I mean, it's just throughout the season you work real hard and you just reach out throughout the meets and you just really work and get under that time and you have goals set.
Was there a particular place you ran that under 6?
Yes, it was in Greenwich.
All right, very nice. That is tremendous. Let's go over to Ryan. And, okay, I won't give your nickname away, but I like it. You ran a lot this summer. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. So what our coach wants us to do every summer to get in shape is to run 300 miles. So only a few people have done it in the past. In my sophomore year, only 3 guys on the team did it, but last year 5 guys did it, and now we had like 10 or 12 guys do it, and I was one of them. Patrick was one of them, and so we're going to have a pretty good season.
All right, Dave.
Amanda, just tell me how you feel about this season. Obviously, you have some good numbers the last couple of years.
I'm really excited this season because we have a lot of incoming freshmen and we have a lot of really strong sophomores. So I'm really excited to see how they perform, and I just think we're going to have a really strong season overall.
Lindsay, tell me about being a senior too on a team and being a captain of a team like this.
It's really nice being a captain and a senior leader. It's kind of cool to see how the seniors in the past have led our team, and I hope Amanda and I will be just like the good seniors in the past.
Do you carry a lot from them? Do you learn? Is there a lot of carryover from captains to captains?
Yes, definitely. I think as a young high schooler and freshman, sophomore year, you really look up to the seniors, and I think once you're a senior, you really take on those characteristics that you saw as a young high schooler.
Is it a long trip over to that FCAC tournament?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of build up to it, and just getting ready for it, and that's what we pride ourselves in. So.
And it's about, 300 yards that way where it takes place, and we'll be there to see them run. We wish them a lot of luck. Had a lot of fun talking with them out here. Cross country, the Rams joining us here on the HAN Network at New Canaan High School. And my thanks to actually 3 different sports editors on those interviews. Dave Stewart, who will be with me tomorrow, Tim Murphy, and Rocco Veluzzo for helping out on those 3 interviews back when the temperatures were about 60 degrees hotter than they are today.
It's not that bad, if you happen to be running a 5K.
Quick note and credit to Dave Rudin because I saw him tweet it. Fairfield Ludlow Athletic Director Dave Schultz will be one of 10 inducted into the CHSCA Hall of Fame on November 19th. So congratulations to Dave, one of the good guys of the FCAC, the Connecticut High School Coaches Association. So congratulations to Dave.
Good job, Dave.
Yeah, Dave's a good man. We'll see him again very soon. He's going to, of course, really kind of be taking the reins of the FCAC within under a year at this point. So he's a good man. Known him for a long time. Good show today.
Ruling the FCAC with an iron fist, I think he called it.
Absolutely. Won't see you tomorrow.
No, that's
like
too bad.
this.
Trust me, I'd much rather watch cross country than put up the Courier. But job, stuff like that.
Job. What can you say? But anyway, big day tomorrow. We'll be with you 2 o'clock from Waveney Park in New Canaan. Cross country championship. A lot of students, a lot of athletes, a lot of interviews. We'll all be there tomorrow, so that will be fun. Coffee break tomorrow as well at 11 o'clock. So busy day tomorrow here on the HAN Network. Not Friday for football this week, but Saturday, Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich. You going to be down there for FCAC tailgate?
I believe so.
All right. Don for FCAC tailgate. Starting things off at noon, and then at 1 we'll have FCAC game day. Of course, you and Kate for FCAC tailgate, and Dave and I for FCAC game day. And then Christopher Kalin and I, Chris Irway taking the week off, Christopher Kalin and I on the call this week for, yes, the Marinelli Bowl.
Has there been any hype around that? I haven't heard anything.
Not too much at all. And I know, and I think I'm okay to promote this, an excellent interview lined up. That I haven't even seen it myself. I'm just told there is an excellent interview to look out for with the legendary coach down in New Canaan, Lou Marinelli. So we're still trying to get John. Still trying to get John on to talk with us, but right now he's kind of laying low.
He's busy.
He is, and he has been on with us before, so it's not like he hasn't talked to us. But so that's all coming up this week. Busy week, and then really full force. Well, we'll start getting into playoff mode for sure by the end of next week. But for now, have a good rest of your week. I'm not sure I'll see you again for the rest of the week.
It'll be lonely. We'll manage.
You'll survive. All right, that'll do it for Nutmeg Sports. Our thanks to Eric Gendron, who directed today. For Donald Eng, I'm Rob Adams. Enjoy your afternoon. We will see you tomorrow. Cross Country Championship, Waveney Park in New Canaan at 2 o'clock. Coffee break at 11. But for now, thanks for watching Nutmeg Sports, everyone on the HAN Network.